Hello YouTube, this is Neon, and today the title of my talk today is going to be Classism in a Gay BDSM Context. It's interesting because the so-called normies, they look at people who are into BDSM or S&M, dominance and submission, like they're weird, right? It's discriminatory, it's bigoted, it's prejudicial, it's not nice. And yet within the world of BDSM, there's a plethora of interests. People who are into one thing or another thing within BDSM, there's spankings, there's a myriad form of bondage, there's water sports, there's taboo mental games, there's interrogation scenarios, there's a million different things. People who are into one form of domination and or submission, a lot of times will have an attitude that is not good against other people who are into other forms of dominance and submission that they're not into. So I'm different, my form's normal and healthy, but other people's forms are not. So there's not acceptance within BDSM community as there should be. Okay. Now, classism. I initially thought that because of the not positive stereotypes against people who are into BDSM, and especially gay BDSMers, that they would be the most tolerant and accepting of people, and that they couldn't possibly be classist because they know what it's like to be discriminated against and to be looked down upon in a way that's not good. And yet what I have found to be the case is that classism transcends sexual orientation, it transcends race, it transcends alternative sexual lifestyles, it transcends BDSM. I would submit to you that people who are into BDSM are just as classist as society in general. I saw a show on Oprah about classism. I don't remember the exact figure, but it's something like 80 to 90% of the population is classist. To me, it's ubiquitous and it's socially acceptable, but nonetheless, classism, it is bigotry, it is prejudice, it is discrimination, it is segregation, it is lots of ugly things. It is kindred with racism. And again, yet it is socially acceptable. I've said before, I am a classist. It's despicable, it's wrong, I'm working on it daily, and yet I confess that I am a classist. I'm not proud of it, but I am working on it. And I at least admit it. And I admit that it is not pretty, and it's not right, and it's not moral. So my experience with classism, it revolved, within gay BDSM, revolves around being on SSI. Being on SSI, being on government assistance due to mental illness, that really makes it difficult for me to interact with people. In a job setting, I cannot work and take care of myself. Being on SSI makes me basically the lowest class in this country. The only class that's lower than me would be if I were homeless. So what let me know that I wasn't valued as a Dom, regardless of my capability and skill, was the treatment that I was getting from submissives. Initially, I was slow. I wasn't fast. And I didn't get what this treatment meant. It wasn't until I talked to 2 different submissives the same day, and I believe I talked to both of them on the phone. I don't like doing a lot of typing online and all that. These 2 submissives were so, like, my specialty is, it's known as taboo mental games, mind, Fs, psychodrama. And these 2 submissives, as we were talking about what they were looking for in a dom and what kind of a dom I am, what I'm looking for, of course, as well, in a sub, they were, oh my God, I'm liking what I'm hearing, I want to see you, I want to meet you, I hope that you'll take me on as your submissive. They were very, very enthusiastic. I went forward and told them, ultimately, that I was on SSI, I expect to be respected, of course. And their interest was like null and void. It was just like, they did a 180 on me. And they were like, I don't think we'd be a good match. And I don't, and I'm like, I think with the second person who did this, I was like, wow, so you have no interest because I'm on SSI. Oh no, it's not for that reason. It's just, I just realized now that we're not gonna be a good match. As to what I was saying before, I'm not sure what I was saying before, but we're not going to be a good match, not because you own SSI low. And it was that day that I realized, oh my God, this is classism, and I am on the crappy end of the classism food chain. So, I didn't tell people initially that I was on SSI. I believe that, at least in part, because we are a classist society, it is considered appropriate to ask someone on the first day, what do you do for a living? And then we can automatically calculate approximately how much money they make. So ultimately, I'm going to get some kind of question along those lines, and I no longer don't tell them until they fall in love or we become serious, because what I had found was that they wouldn't follow my rules, particularly once they found out I wasn't working and I was on government assistance. Oftentimes, they would just want to pay for sessions. That's not something I've ever done. It's not something I plan on ever doing. It's legal if there's no direct sexual contact. It's actually legal to be a professional dom. For me, there is going to be some direct sexual contact, and I'm not looking to be a professional dom, and I'm not looking to be a professional dom that, in part, is being paid for sex. There's nothing about my profile or me that's interested in that. So for them to resort to that, to me, to some degree, treating me like I'm a sex worker, to me is sort of the epitome of classism. It's, I'm superior to you. It's, you're not as valuable as me. It's, let's cut to the bottom line. You don't have money, and I'll give you money because I do appreciate your skill as a dom, but I'm not going to respect you. You're not my equal. So it was very shocking to see that people who are into BDSM, people who are gay and into BDSM, they're just as classist as everybody else. That's bigotry, that's discrimination, that's mistreating other people. It was very interesting and shocking to realize that gay BDSMers do not transcend classism. In fact, classism transcends them. To be treated in this way is terrible, but I admit, I looked at people who were on SSI, and for me, they were losers. End of story, period. I was wrong. That is classism. That is not cool. That is immoral. And yet that was my opinion. And now I'm treated that way, and I'm treated that way constantly. As a result, even though I'm skilled as a dom, the regular rules, in many dom sub situations, there's rules that apply outside of the session because the dom has a lot of responsibility. So the submissive will, they might clean out the dom's toilet or something like that. They may, in my case, I need someone to talk to, so they're required to listen to me. They could never listen to me without opining and interjecting their thoughts into what I was saying because they didn't respect me. And many times they would, like I said, they would come around to wanting to pay me. I would reject these subs, I would put them on probation, I would break off contact with them, and again, sometimes later they would contact me with, hey, can we have a session? I'll give you whatever you want. That is the epitome of classism. You're poor and I'll pay for you. It's sad. It's sad. It don't feel good. Knowing that I'm a skilled dom who rarely gets to have sessions because I'm not respected sucks, because I really do love BDSM. I do love dominance and submission. It's something that's difficult to cope with. But I am coping with it, and I'm certainly not compromising my values or my morals or the sanctity, if you will, the sacredness, if you will, of S&M. So that has been my experience. I had my notepad but didn't really need to take notes. I just spoke to you from the heart. If you like my video, please like, subscribe, share, make a comment, watch a commercial, recommend my videos, do one or more of those things. Thank you. Best wishes.